Before we start our topic on curriculum, what we teach in schools, I think it's important to have some background understanding about what it is to learn something, what it is to know something, even what it is to think. And so before we get started, I want you to think of some things yourself. So when I say go, I want you to stop the video for just a moment and just list some things in your head, a big variety of things that you can learn. Go. Wow, that's quite a list. Good job. You know, these kinds of things about what it means to learn, what it means to think, what it means to know, aren't questions that you can run a psychology study on. They're questions that need to be thought about philosophically, or you might think about it in the realm of education theory. And usually when we talk about studies that have to do with learning, people have started with assumptions from education theory, and then they devise studies that examine particulars of the theory, how it works out in real life with real people. So I thought we would start out by reviewing and surveying some of the important theories that you need to know, so that when we talk about what it means to learn something, we have some big categories that we can put our theories in, that we can put our studies in, some big theories that we can put our studies in. So the first theory to talk about is behaviorism, or behavioral learning theory. It's a theory of learning. It's also a theory of motivation. So we're just going to talk about it as a theory of learning here, even though the two overlap. And when we talk about motivation later in the semester, we'll dig it up again. So the person that's best known as being a proponent and a developer of behaviorism is B.F. Skinner. He was really extreme. I have a little book that I would like to read. This is a portion of, or summarize a portion of. This is a book that is a very helpful book for me. This is a summary of one of Skinner's later works. The book is called Beyond Freedom and Dignity, What Skinner Wrote. And here are the main ideas of it. Freedom and free will are illusions. Human beings are a product of their environment, their reinforcing circumstances. We don't have a soul. There is not somewhere within us that is a center where decisions are taken about what we should do. Our behavior is not determined from within, but from outside. Behavior is shaped by its consequences. The notion that the individual is responsible and autonomous is a dangerous myth, which is an obstacle to a society where human beings can live in peace and happiness. Here's another thing he did. He invented this thing called baby in a box. Skinner says that in the brave new world in which science and technology influence the woman working at home, something should be done to facilitate childcare. Traditionally, the baby has been wrapped up in a multitude of clothing in a bed that has not been regulated according to temperature and moisture. This method implies a lot of work for the mother, not least with regarding to washing. The box that Skinner constructed allowed the baby to sit naked within it behind a glass door. The child's reaction regulated the temperature so it was kept at a pleasant level. Skinner's daughter Deborah spent her first year in the box. So Skinner would say there really isn't such thing as thinking, and that learning is simply change in behavior. And what we do to teach is put things in the environment and regulate the environment so that our students change their behaviors. So in schools, you may see a lot of things happen that are based in a behavioral view of learning. So for instance, say a child does something right, learns something, what does the teacher say? Great job! That kind of praise, that kind of reward comes from behaviorism. There's shaping. We do that in schools when we take a a complex kind of procedure and break it down into little bitty parts and teach a little part, a little part, a little part. We see that in skills-based curriculum. Skills-based curriculum, you practice punctuating a sentence this way, and you practice punctuating a sentence that way, and you practice punctuating a sentence yet another way. And so it's based on those skills, and that's shaping. Another education researcher named Albert Bandura promoted a theory called social learning theory, and it's kind of like behaviorism extended a little bit, in that in behaviorism I learn because of things that are done to me. In social learning theory, I can learn things because of what happens to other people. So if I see the person next to me solving a problem in a certain way, and that person gets success, or gets a prize, or gets a reward, or gets teacher attention, then I know that when I do it myself, I can try it that way. Even though I didn't get the attention, I didn't get the reward, I know that my neighbor did, and so that I can do that. So Bandura is an extension of behaviorism to account for what we learn from watching, from observing other people.